Yo, it's Go, and welcome to the video. In one of the last blue posts from Blizzard that we got, they mentioned that they were going to be looking at the munching effect for deep wounds and ignite for warriors and mages. Balanced druids can also have a munching effect with one of our future set bonuses. So instead of deep wounds or ignite, our effect is called Languish, and we get it from our 4-piece tier 10 set in ICC. So our 4 set makes our critical strikes from Starfires and Wraths causes the target to languish for an additional 7% of your spell's damage over 4 seconds. And since Wrath has a travel time and Starfire doesn't, depending on the distance you are from the mob you're hitting, they can hit at the same time. So hopefully this is on Blizzard's radar and they're looking at this too, not just warriors and mages. Maybe it works somehow when those 2 classes are changed, it fixes ours at the same time. We'll have to wait and see. But another crazy thing with this Languish effect that Last Cares made a really well put together post about in the Druid Discord is that every 2 seconds, Languish will tick, releasing half of the stored damage. But if you crit before Languish has a chance to tick, the timer will refresh and the damage will be added. He's got 2 examples here. The first one, if you have a 20k Starfire crit, Languish gets applied and it's 1400 damage. So each tick is only 700 damage. There's 2 of them. And if you have another 20k Starfire crit after the first tick from Languish, it'll apply another 1400 damage plus 700 from the second tick from the first one, having a 2100 Languish, meaning each tick after that will be 1050. So this is kind of like if you have a Starfire crit and then your next one doesn't crit and then you have a third Starfire in a row and the third one crits. This is something that could happen. But if you're getting a crit before that first tick from like 2 back-to-back Starfires, if they're both 20k again, same thing for the first one, 1400 damage for the Languish, 700 per tick. But since no ticks have gone out and you've gotten another 20k Starfire crit, the Languish refreshes to have 2800 damage instead of only the 2100. So now it's going to be ticking for 1400 damage. And then if you go 4 whole seconds without getting a crit, then that Languish tick will fall off, no longer build anymore, and you'll have to start over with a new Languish. Sorry if that was confusing. Didn't make much sense to me when I first read over it. Took me a couple times, but ask one of your mage friends in your guild. I'm sure they can help explain it. But Last Cares goes on to talk about some other tech called vomiting. This can happen with mages. Crateria did a little video on it. It's like a minute. So I suggest pausing the video. There's a link to this one in the description. Give that a look. It'll help you understand. It's a little tricky for mages because they have some travel time in their spells, but us balanced druids, we don't. So if we can get enough crit and have our Starfire cast time at just under the 2 seconds, like he talks about in his video, with like 401 to 403 haste, then we can theoretically keep our Languish rolling and it will still tick every 2 seconds with that just under 2 second cast time for Starfire, and it will continue to build like those previous examples indefinitely, like until the end of the fight, as long as you don't have to move or you get like unlucky and you don't get a crit. The vomiting part of this is you let your Languish fall off in the last 4 seconds of the fight. So all of that built up damage will come out at the very end. So there's some current sim setups have us at around 90% crit, but there's some people theory crafting on how to get that closer to 100%. And since movement can pretty much make this not possible, there's only a few fights where this could come in handy and be abused, and that's Festergut and Sarfang. So if we can get close to that 100% crit and have some fights where we don't have to move and we can just pump out some Starfires, then it's projected that we can get anywhere from 40 to 60k DPS depending on the fight length. So if Blizzard doesn't fix this, there's going to be druids out there doing this, and that's going to make it the only way to do like parsing on certain fights is by having a set for Languish. So the reason that Last Cares, myself, and others want it to get fixed now before ICC even comes out is because by then it will be way too late. People will have invested all this time and resources to get these sets theory crafted and put together just for it to get patched overnight after Sarth makes a video. But since Fiery Weapon was changed for warriors many months ago, before that could get completely theory crafted and abused, maybe we can see the same thing for this. If it's not fixed, I will definitely try to abuse it until it does, because who's going to pass up 50k plus DPS? But let me know if you think it should get fixed. Should I have stayed quiet and not made a video? If you want to see all the stuff that's happening theory crafting wise, hop into the Balanced Druid Discord, link in the description, and toss around some ideas. Thanks for checking this video out. Hopefully PTR is coming soon for phase 3.